Students, in this class I will discuss the equipartition theorem from classical statistical mechanics, or we may say the equipartition theorem from canonical distribution. Now, the energy of a system can be expressed as the sum of terms which are quadratic in position or momentum coordinates of the system. Okay? Let me discuss with two simple examples. Now, first of all, a system consisting of one free particle. That is, a system consists of one free particle. Now, the energy of the system is given as E equals to px square plus py square plus pz square by 2m, where m is the mass of the particle and px square, px, py and pz are the momentum of the particle along x, y and z direction. So, this is a quadratic term. Okay? The second example is the energy of a system consisting of only one simple harmonic oscillator aligned to oscillate along x-axis, and the energy is given as E equals to px square by 2m plus kx square by 2. So, this is the energy of one simple harmonic oscillator aligned to oscillate along x-axis. Now, this is the contribution for the kinetic energy, px square by 2m, and this is for the potential energy, kx square by 2. Now, according to k, it is the force constant. Okay. Now, according to equipartition theorem, when a system is in thermal equilibrium with a heat reservoir at temperature T, the mean contribution of each quadratic term to the total energy is half kT. That is, the mean contribution of each quadratic term to the total energy is half kT when the system is in thermal equilibrium with a heat reservoir at temperature T. Okay? Now, let us consider a system described classically in terms of F position coordinates, that is Q1 to Qf, and corresponding F momenta P1 to Pf. Okay? Now, the total energy of the system can be written as a function of Q and P. So, E is a function of Q1 to Qf and P1 to Pf. Let this be equation number 1. Now, the total energy can be broken into a sum of two parts. Okay? That is, E equals to EIPI plus E prime Q1, Q2 up to Qf, P1, P2 up to Pf. This is equation number 2. Now, this has two parts. Now, such a split of energy, that is, we have broken the energy into two parts, so the splitting of energy, such a split of energy is feasible as the position and momentum coordinates are independent of each other. This is only possible when the momentum and coordinate terms, momentum and coordinates are independent of each other. Okay. Now, the first term, EIPI, is a function of particular momentum Pi alone. So, this is the function of particular momentum Pi alone. And the second part, that is the E prime, Q1, Q2 up to Qf, P1, P2 up to Pf, is a function of all the position coordinates and all momenta, excluding the one Pi, excluding momenta Pi, which is the only variable of the first term. This is the only variable of the first term. Okay? This is the only variable of the first term. So this includes all coordinates, position coordinates and momentum, excluding the momentum pi. Okay. We can assume that the energy Ei is a quadratic function of pi, and we may write Ei equals to b pi square. This is equation number 3. This is equation number 2 and this is equation number 3, where b is a constant, where b is some constant. Now if the system is in equilibrium at a particular temperature T, it will be characterized by canonical distribution, and the mean value of the energy Ei can be expressed as average Ei. This is equals to sigma Ei e to the power minus beta E Q1 to Pf divided by sigma e to the power minus beta E Q1 to Pf. Now the system is in equilibrium at a particular temperature T and is characterized by a canonical distribution. Hence the mean value of the energy is expressed as the average Ei. This is equal to sigma Ei to the power minus beta E, where E is a function of positional coordinates and momenta, and sigma e to the power minus beta E Q1 to Pf. Now this term is nothing but the partition function. Okay, this is the partition function. Okay, of the system. Now in classical theory, the variation of energy is continuous, and hence we can use integration in place of summation. So the summation terms can be replaced by the integration, because in classical theory the variation of energy is continuous. Since the variation of energy is continuous, therefore we can replace the summation by integration. Hence this becomes, average energy becomes equals to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity Ei e to the power minus beta E Q1 to Pf dq1 dpf divided by minus integration minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta E Q1 to Pf dq1 dpf. This is the equation number 4. Okay. Now, making use of the equation 2, we can write average energy equals to integration minus infinity to plus infinity Ei e to the power minus beta Ei plus E dot dq1 to dpf divided by integration of minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta Ei plus E prime dq1 to dpf. Now we have used the equation number 2. What was the equation number 2? The equation number 2 was like this: the splitting of energy in two parts. Okay, Ei and E dot. So we have splitted the equation here in two parts, Ei and E dot. Okay. So this becomes average energy is equals to minus infinity to plus infinity to the power minus beta Ei into Ei dpi minus integration of minus infinity to plus into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta E prime dq1 to dpf. Okay. Similarly, this can also be written as integration of minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta Ei dpi into integration of minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta E prime dq1 to dpf. Okay. Now the integrals containing e to the power beta E prime extends over all terms Q and P except Pi. So excluding the Pi, this extends over all terms of Q and P terms. Okay. These integrals in the numerator, the numerator and denominator are equal. Okay. And hence are cancelled out. Okay, so these integrals in the numerator and denominator are equal and are cancelled out. Therefore, we get average energy EI equals to minus infinity to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity to the power minus beta EI dpi divided by minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta EI dpi. We can write this one like this: minus del beta minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta EI dpi. So, if we minus del beta integration of e to the power minus integration of minus infinity to plus infinity to the power minus beta EI dpi, this is equals to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity to the power minus beta EI into dpi. Okay, so you can write this like this. Okay, and this one remains same, minus infinity to plus infinity to the power minus beta EI dpi. Now we can write this like, so we can write this minus del beta minus del beta ln, okay, integration of minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus beta EI dpi. Okay, okay, so from equation 3 we know EI equals to B pi square, because the energy has been assumed as B into pi square. Hence we can write average energy EI is equals to minus del beta ln minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power, so in place of EI we will put B pi square, so this is equals to e to the power minus B beta pi square dpi. Now we have to carry out this integration. We have to find out the value of this integration. Okay. Now let y square equals to beta pi square. Okay. So y equals to beta to the power half pi. Therefore dy equals to beta to the power half dpi. Therefore dpi equals to beta to the power minus half beta to the power minus half dy. Okay. Now the average energy value of the average energy becomes equals to minus del beta ln beta to the power minus beta to the power minus half, because it is constant taken out of the integration into e to the power integration of minus infinity to plus infinity to the power minus by squared dy. Okay, so this is equals to, after simplification, this is equals to minus del beta within third bracket minus half ln beta plus ln minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power minus by squared dy. Now this is a standard integral and this value is constant, which is equals to pi by b whole to the power half. So when you differentiate this becomes equal to 0. Okay, with respect to beta this is equals to 0. Okay, so we get this is equals to minus del beta minus half ln beta. So this is equals to 1 upon twice beta. This is equals to 1 upon twice beta. Now since beta equals to 1 upon kt, so the average energy EI becomes equals to half kt. Okay. Now this is the equipartition theorem of classical statistical mechanics, which states that the mean value of each independent term in the energy is equal to half kt. Now this is the equipartition theorem of classical statistical mechanics, which states that the mean value of each independent term in the energy is equal to half kt. So this is the equipartition theorem from classical statistical mechanics. Okay. Now in my next class I will take up the quantum statistics. Thank you.